Controversy at the Old Georgetown Cemetery. One association in the city says the mayor of Georgetown ordered them to take down a sign. They say they want a resolution as soon as possible. WKYT's Julia Sandor found out more about the situation in our top story at 11.
It's been here since probably before Kentucky became a state and before Georgetown became a city.
Willa Relford Gentry and the rest of the Scott County African American Heritage Association have been working to preserve the Old Georgetown Cemetery. They say they put a sign out front displaying some of its history.
It was still the Old Georgetown Cemetery, but they kind of nicknamed it the Old Colored Cemetery because black people was being buried here. And that's what we're trying to document, and that's pretty much what that sign says.
Gentry says the sign they originally placed on the fence of the cemetery was ordered to be taken down by the Georgetown mayor. She says she should be allowed to keep it there.
Went to the county office, and the deed for this property right here says unknown.
Gentry, along with Clara Hawkins Sidney and others, have been hard at work. Right now, there are about 200 headstones above the ground. They say while they come out here and try to restore and protect these graves, there's still an estimated 2,400 graves yet to be uncovered.
This cemetery over here, we've been working on this cemetery for 2 years, and we've been documenting the history of the cemetery. All of those United States colored infantry men fought for freedom. Okay, it's not freedom to tell me that I'm gonna take a sign down for no reason.
The Pioneer Cemetery is the resting place for U.S. troops, Buffalo Soldiers, and other historical figures. This is just one way that they say they're giving a voice to the voiceless.
And those people that's buried in their cemetery, their voices need to be heard. And that's smushing their voices.
In Georgetown, Julia Sandor, WKYT.
Gentry says they hope to have a response from the mayor by 4 p.m. tomorrow. We also reached out to the Georgetown mayor's office, but have not yet heard back.